Whatever it is, there's no problem that he cannot fix. Turn it over. Turn it over. Turn it over. Whatever it is, there's no problem that he cannot fix. Something's going on in your life, and you don't understand why. And now you fall down on your knees, like a baby you begin to cry. So tired of the ups and downs, tired of life. Around and around and around. I know what you're going through, feeling like no one cares. I've been there many times before. Won't my sin, only thing you can do. Step to the heavens, up above. That's where your help comes from. All you gotta do, turn it over, make a step toward a new life. You got to change your life. Turn it over. What you gonna do? Whatever it is, there's no problem that he cannot fix. Some of your emotions people man who possess your car. You find yourself so all alone, down to your last dime. Turn it over. Consider him, it's the right time now. Whatever it is, there's no problem that he cannot fix.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Issachar Power Hour. This is C.J. Ritz here with my boy, Captain Faith, Salty Dog, Joseph DeMott. What's happening, brother?
Salty as ever.
Nothing wrong with salt, man. Salt. You know,
I was
it's
telling you
good.
guys the other day. People don't know this about me because I'm only 1/32nd Potawatomi, but I am 1/32nd Potawatomi. I have a card for it and everything, and I was like, I should come up with an Indian name, and the best I could come up with was Salty Dog, Wampum Kick Big Devil Butt.
I like it. I like it, brother.
Wampum Kick Big Devil Butt.
Let
Okay.
me just turn this down.
Hey, that he got a double Wampum Kick Devil Butt.
I hear you, brother. Well, anyway, guys, we got a few things to talk about tonight. We surely do. We got a few things, so we want you guys to share this. I'm not going to waste any time. I want to get right into this that Joseph has been feeling in his spirit. He's been prophesying this. He's been proclaiming it. And, you know, I just love how spirit prayed up, spirit-led people speak and utter the things that God is doing, what he has promised, even at times that you don't even really realize that God is actually saying this through you in a very, very profound and a solidified way, I guess is the best way to put that, because you keep saying we're fighting against death. This death to death thing is a real thing. And you keep saying it over and over and over again. And it's beginning to really resonate with me. And me being accustomed to when the prophetic is active, I hear that promise and I can actually see it. Every time you say something about it, Joseph, I can see it manifesting.
Yeah.
That's what I can see.
Yeah, and it's starting to manifest. I'm telling you, in our life. Let me just give you some testimonies, because I really, really, really want people to catch something. We are on the next phase of what Kim saw.
Come on.
We're into the next phase. So you can't just stop with the president that's connected to gold. We have to move beyond what Kim saw, and what he saw next was death to debt. Let's talk about the impossibility real quick of Donald Trump being the president of the United States again. It is difficult to be elected twice to the presidency. It is even more difficult to be maligned and put into a place of deficit the way that Trump was after he was removed from. That's what happened. He was removed from.
That's right.
And then to be impeached twice and acquitted, to be put into to trial after trial after trial while he's trying to run for president, and then to be shot at not once but twice,
Come on.
and all of the things, the impossibility of Trump being president. And I want to take it back to the prophetic word that brought him into the seat of power, because that is what made it happen. Not him, not you and I. The Lord God Almighty did it. That's
Come
who
on.
did it. And the prophetic word that Kim had, the inevitability of it. Kim lived in a world where he wanted to see, where he knew the word of God says this: I want my people, this is the Lord saying, I want my people to look at the impossible as it is plausible, so that I can move it into the space of the inevitable.
Come on.
And that is what we have to do with every single thing. It's what he did with Trump. And now what's next? Death to debt. It seems impossible. But what I want, and what, Charlie, I know you want, what I want everybody on the program that watches us to not only start to say to yourself, but to tell other people, is that we anticipate the inevitable supernatural intervention of God, because
Right.
that sums up everything in a singular point. And what is next? The death to debt. If you have a debt that you think is impossible for God to take care of, perfect. You are a prime candidate to start to look at what can be inevitable. So move that debt. And I want you to move it right now in your heart and your mind and in your prayer life, and
Come on.
in everything that you do. Move that debt from the fact that God could plausibly take care of that debt. If you can move that from the impossible to the plausible, God is going to take that debt and move it into the inevitable striking down. I'm going to tell you something. This is what happened with me and Rebecca in our situation. We're like everybody else. We started to fall behind just like everybody else did over the last 4 years. And specifically when we got hit with that virus, man, it hit our finances hard. But we continued to try to give as best we could. We continued to try to scrap and pull things together. Well, this last week, the Lord took our what was almost started to creep up on, okay, now you're behind on your mortgage. All right, now you're almost 2 months behind on your mortgage. Where we were almost to a point of we're getting close to 2 months behind, Lord, you're going to have to help intervene. He did something that moved it from 2 months behind, almost 2 months behind, to a month ahead. We are now a month ahead where we were behind. That, my friends, is a supernatural intervention. However, that's just plausible. It's plausible that God can do that. Now I'm looking at death to debt, and I'm saying this, Lord, I'm taking the whole amount that we owe on our house, and I'm moving that into the plausible God can take care of that debt section. And
Right.
I'm believing, Lord, that you're going to take it and move it into the inevitable supernatural intervention of God. And I believe he's doing that with individuals. So this isn't a pie in the sky hope. This was the next shoe to fall after the presidency of DJT.
Come
And
on.
when he came back into now the inevitable aspect of it, next foot to fall is death to debt and an intervention financially for God's people first. God's people first. So the reason why I'm harping on this, Charlie, is because I want to be a catalyst.
Come on.
I want you all to be a catalyst so that people can see it happen first. Just like we were when Donald Trump fell out of office, whatever happened, he got removed. People like you and I, we were catalysts for saying, he coming back. God's gonna take care of this. God's got a plan. And then we started to say crazy things like, man, maybe God can bring him back before 2024. We started to say the outrageous things. Why? Because God wanted us to be of the mindset of the outrageous, so that we could start to see things happen. So I really feel like, Charlie, we need to be a catalyst for the outrageous right now. And that death to debt is absolute. That's what I want to be. I want to be a catalyst for the outrageous.
Wow. I mean, that is so good, man. That is so good. And this is what is really getting ready to take place. And, I was looking at I don't know if I should share this real quick, and I want people to go and maybe look at it. But I was looking at Bo Polney. If anyone know who he is, he's a he he's a prophetic voice on a different level. Different perspective. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
What he does, he takes the prophetic word that's in the Bible, and then he takes the prophetic rhema word that has come forth through reputable prophets like Prophet Kim Clement, and he puts it together with numbers and dates, and man, it's outstanding what he comes up with. And I was just watching a video of his, and he was talking about starting in the month of March and through April, how things are really going to get really crazy. And he puts all these numbers together, and it's very intriguing. And I think I will go to that real quick just to share it with people so that you can see it, so that you can go and watch it yourselves, because it's about an hour long. And so I don't want to feature that right now, but it's called, let me see. Let me just put it up here like this, because she's going to have a commercial first. And man, I just refuse to pay for YouTube Premium. I don't want YouTube to get any of my money. And I don't need YouTube to pay me anything. Charlie, if you don't do this, see, you won't be able to get any money. I said, man, I don't want any money from you. If God is going to send money from you, he's going to do it supernaturally, just like he did for Israel when he made Edom. Okay, water and substance came from Israel's enemy out of their control. They couldn't help themselves but give it. And that's how YouTube is going to pay me. That's how I look at it. But I want you guys to just, I'm just going to put this up here. Okay, you see the title, Life Before and After April. Bo Polney, he's actually on with a gentleman, and I can't think of his name right now. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this right here, and I'm going to put it in the comments. And I want you guys to, whenever you have time, go and check it out. Just go and check it out. It's very interesting, because what we have that is about to go down, guys, what God is getting ready to do, there's an incredible wealth transfer that is about to happen. And we are on the cusp of it. And that's the reason why I wanted you to start out by speaking about what you said, Joseph, because there's wealth transfer that's coming. That word that's in the Bible, in the Logos, but that rhema word that agrees with that which is in the Logos is truly about to manifest. And he speaks about that. But when this happened, of course, those with the money, they're going to get ticked off. So guess what? If anybody, let me tell you something. If a person is being ripped up, and I don't, no, that's the wrong word. If money is being transferred from an individual, now here's a better way to put it. If an individual that's rich, they begin to start losing money, they go nuts. Do you remember what happened to the hedge funds when those young guys that worked at GameStop, all of a sudden, man, they figured out the way, man, to get into the hedge funds, and they start crashing the market. And those big hedge fund guys, man, went ape. They went crazy. They shut down the whole market. They did something that they shouldn't have had the power to do, which they didn't have the power to do, but they did it anyway, because they were losing billions by the minute. Billions upon billions they were losing by the minute, and they shut it down. That is what I am sensing, that people with the money, the wicked with the money and with the resources, when this begins to happen, they're going to freak out. They're going to go nuts. And so be prepared for them to fight back with whatever weapon that they feel like they can fight back with.
Right.
And that's what that Bo Polney video is about. Okay, that's what it's about. But going back to this debt free, we titled this Two Presidents because we've been speaking about this word, Joseph, right? We've been speaking about two presidents, okay, a lot, all right? But, I find this to be very interesting. Make sure I got the right one. Let me see if I got the right one up there. Yeah. Nope, that's not the right one. So I'm gonna share the other one. So hold on. This is what I have to do. I have to minimize this one, get it out of the way, and then that way it won't pop up. But I want you guys to see this as I read this. I want you guys to look at it as I read it, because this word came. All right. This word, nope, can't do it like that because then I lose you.
That's okay. You don't need me up. Just do it.
No. I want you to be seen, brother. But anyway, this is from April 4th, 2008. Now listen to this word. Look what God said back then when we had no clue what God was saying. But now you can see that these things are beginning to happen. God has made a promise about a generation and a people soon that shall say, how did it control us for so long? And yet discovered Egypt has already trodden upon it. They don't even know it. But I will take my nation, America, those that have sought after answers. The corruption in the pharmaceutical, you shall be exposed. And God shall bring about in this nation a plan for health insurance that shall not be perpetrated by the Democrats or by the Republicans. This shall be something that shall transpire because of a sudden change, because I command it. It is a disgrace, says the Spirit of the Lord, that politics are swayed by this one thing. Therefore, watch as I move in these next 2 years and I show America how strong I am and prove myself in the political arena. This is what I'm getting to. I shall be your president, says the Spirit of the living God.
Yeah.
That right there is a powerful statement. So you ask the question, wait a minute, God, what do you mean? Are you physically, a person can ask these questions. An unlearned person that don't know anything about spiritual matters, they could ask this question. What is this? God said, I shall be your president, says the Spirit of the Lord. And then he said, and they shall say, but now there is a second president. How can we have two presidents? How many times have we heard the mainstream media, the prophets of Baal, those on the left, even those that's in the church that have lined up with the left, they are saying Elon is really the president. It's absolutely insane. But this is what the Lord said, that would be said. An unusual thing, isn't it, says the Spirit of the Lord. Why would it be that one with a double mind would stand up and face the people? We know that that's Joe Biden. We know that in 2020, Trump won that election.
Yeah.
He won that election. Okay. So we had two presidents then. And this word is still applicable to now. Listen to what God says. But fear not, for God said, as I promised before, this is my nation, and I will change things according to the time and season. I told you now in spring, I will expose and reveal things that have been hidden so that my nation can move into this next election and to the next phase with victory and honor and glory, says the Lord of hosts. What has been hidden for so many decades? All of the fraud that is happening with all of these different bureaucratic agencies in the government. And then I love what God finishes off here. I prophesy America. I prophesy America. You are light, salt, and joy. You are light, salt, and joy.
Amen.
I'm telling you guys, I think we are beginning to see this word is really, truly beginning to pop off right in front of our face. And Joseph, I just wanted to share that again because of what you keep feeling, what you keep sensing. And it is true that this nation is going to be debt-free. It truly is going to be debt-free.
Yeah.
It's going to take a miracle. Okay. And God works through men. He works through you and I. He works through us, those that would allow him to do this. And then something is going to happen to where no man will be able to take or get any credit for it, because this debt is so huge. It's impossible what many people have said, but watch and see God do it.
Yeah. And it goes back to the word that Kim had about the look to the oak tree, look to the oak tree and energy, because this is a twofold thing. First of all, I had a good conversation with a buddy about this. It's like, hey, if our country is ever going to get back to where it needs to be and where we want it to be, first you got to take care of the problem, which is how we spend. That's
Right.
what they're doing right now. That's what Doge is taking care of. They're looking at how we spend. They're saying, look at this. This is nonsense. We're sending this money over here. We're trying
Mm-hmm.
to stupid things that I make this up, but it's not that far fetched. Well, we're gonna give peanut butter jelly sandwiches to fishes in the Pacific Ocean. Spend millions of dollars and millions of dollars. What are we gonna send this? Uh, Hats for camels over in the Sahara Desert. I mean, it is nonsense where some of this money's going to. And the truth
Mm-hmm.
is it's not really going to those places. It's being siphoned to people that are using it for ill-gotten gain. I mean, that's the truth. That's what's
Right.
really happening. So we take care of that apparatus, which they're already starting to do, right? Well, then there's got to be another piece, another shoe to that shoe that falls. And we
Right.
already know in the prophetic word what it is. Look to the oak tree. Look to this energy. Look to Fire Point. Look to these things. Kim had, and the way he said it in all these things, I think is significant, Charlie. He said,
Come on.
look to this.
Right.
Look to this. Look to this. And that speaks of time and place. You know, for reality to be, I mean, this I'm gonna get all scientific on you. For reality to be, you have to have time, space, and matter, and you have to have it all at once.
Right.
Only God can do that. Well, in the prophetic word, Kim would say you've got a time and you got a place, and we always have to figure out what the matter is, right?
Right.
It's kind of poetic if you think, what's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? So the Lord wants it. He gave us the time. He said, look to this, look to this, look to this season, look to this item. And then we're saying, well, what is the matter of that? Well, for Elon Musk, oak tree means, that's what his name means. It means oak tree. Elon means oak tree. So in those prophetic words, and what does Elon do best that we don't even talk about? Energy type things. He
Right.
does things that we're not even talking about yet. So I believe he's not going to stop with helping with the Doge stuff. He's got something that President Trump knows about, that they all know about, that they're going to be like, hey, you want to really make this country, you really want to get it hopping? Let's take the energy exports from down to way, 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 way up. And then we're going to see something incredible happen. And then you take into what you said, Charlie, about the debt transfer.
Right.
Now, all the things that God's going to do with that, all of a sudden you have a recipe for going from a deficit into a positive situation that will only help God's people, the people of this nation, and then
Yeah.
will actually put us in a place where we actually can help other nations, because we don't help them right now with what we do with aid. It ain't
Come
no
on.
help. Ain't no
That's
help.
right.
It doesn't help nobody. But we got to get back. And so for the church, here's what it comes down to, though, church. We need to focus on him. We can fix our eyes. We don't even fix our eyes on Elon. He says, Kim says, look to, but he never ever once said anything other than fix your eyes on Jesus. Jesus is the one that's given us all these words.
Yeah.
For what purpose? Because he wants to put us in a position to reflect God's glory by saying, hey, look at what the Lord said. Look how many, you know how many people came to the Lord over the last 4 years by looking at Kim Clement's words and saying, oh my gosh, did that man really prophesy and say that Trump was going to be president for 2 terms? There are a lot of people that didn't know nothing about Kim and didn't
Right.
care a lick about God, but were very hurt by what happened with the president. And because they started to focus on the things that the Lord was saying through a man that's no longer here, guess what? They couldn't focus on that man either, but they focused on the words. And then all of a sudden, you got people that found Jesus.
Right. Man, that's so true. So guys, look, when God says that this country is going to be debt free, know that a country that is debt free means that its citizens are debt free. Remember, that's what you said.
Yep.
We are on I'm telling you, and this is something that the parable of when Jesus gave one individual 5 talents, and then he gave another one, I think it was 3 or something like that. Then he gave another one. He gave him 1, and the one that he gave 1 to buried it, and he didn't sow it. He didn't try to multiply it, and then it was taken from him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what's interesting about what Bo said, and it lines up. He didn't use that parable or that scripture, but he used the parable in the scripture about the 10 virgins, 5 having just enough oil, and then the other 5 having an overabundance of oil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then when they ran out, they went to go get some more oil. And while they was gone to get the oil to fill back up the vase with the oil, the bridegroom came and collected, and then they left, and then they were left out.
Yeah.
And then I like that analogy that he's using, because what God is about to do, guys, those of us that will begin to receive this money transfer or this wealth transfer, and I truly believe that it's just not all just money. I think it's access. I think it's influence. I think you're going to have influence and access in the areas where they said that you didn't have access. I think knowledge is going to increase in people supernaturally. I think people that have been suffering from autism and different things that have held them back, all of a sudden that's going to be removed. And there's going to be a heightened intelligence that's going to come up on people. And people are going to begin to see. They're going to begin to hear, and they're going to be able to calculate and figure things out where they couldn't before. This wealth transfer is about to happen in such an explosive way. And if you're thinking like I'm thinking, because see, this is how I'm thinking. Whatever it is that you are ready to pour out upon me, Lord God, I'm ready for it. If it's an abundance in finance, great. But if it's an abundance in access in the areas where I didn't have before, that's just as great. Be prepared to do with what God gives you and to multiply it so that the kingdom can continue to advance, because that's the reason for this wealth transfer. Yeah. It's for the kingdom to be established, to be advanced. Yeah. Because there are many people out there that's dying. And so I just wanted to just drop that in there, guys, because that is so important. That's why pray. Prepare your hearts for what God is getting ready to do. Prepare your hearts for the retaliation of the enemy. Prepare yourselves. Don't be caught off guard and to be crippled because your heart wasn't prepared. Mm-hmm. Prepare your hearts. And the best way to do that is to pray.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the best way to do it. I want to move on to something else here, brother. Okay? I want to talk about Cash Patel. I want to talk about something that...
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to share this real quick. He was confirmed today.
Yeah.
He was confirmed. And you know, he came up under more scrutiny than RFK.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more scrutiny than RFK. Because there are some people that are shaking and quaking in their boots right now. I'm sure that there are a few people that's having to have to wear diapers at night because they can't help but crap on themselves at night because of the fear that is about to come down upon them. How did that happen?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. God, Charlie Shamp, I'm going to be ministering with him on March. I'm going to meet him in Seattle, Washington. We're going to be at a church there. I don't have the information of the church yet, but I'm going to be there with him starting on the 10th of March. We're going to go through the 13th. And I'm going to be ministering with this great prophet. I mean, I just love what God is doing, man. He's putting me with some awesome prophetic voices. But he had a word that he brought forth, man, on March 24th, 2022. Listen to what the Lord said to him on this day. Suddenly I saw whirlwinds touching down in Washington, D.C. And I heard the Lord say, for they have sown the wind, they shall reap the whirlwind. So let me say it again. For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. Recently, I fell into a trance and heard the Lord say, I'm bringing my hammer of justice to shattering their plans for a new world order. America, you are in an awakening, but a day of reckoning to reverse the curse in the land is coming. Watch and see how I reorder the steps of the house and set in place those that I have called to sit in the Senate. I will restore and bring redemption to the things that the enemy has done to your nation. I said to you, America, you will go from recession to resurgence, from survival to revival. Think it not strange that you are facing turbulent times, and it seems tragedy is at every turn, for I am even now turning things around. You will hear the clear sound of the trumpet of triumph, the sound of the trumpet, the good report, the roar, like the waves of the ocean tide when it turns, the roar like the lion when it overtakes its prey, a roar of breakthrough, truth, and justice to shift the spiritual atmosphere and break barriers of darkness. Suddenly, I saw whirlwinds touching down in Washington, D.C., and heard the Lord say, for they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. That came forth on March 24th, 2022. Guys, so many people are about to be exposed.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention one name, and maybe you can talk about it a little bit. Adam Schiff. Oh, Shifty Schiff.
Oh my gosh, that guy's I can't say what he is on a live air because we'll definitely get stricken for that. But it starts with a P, and he's a pervert. I guess I can say pervert, right? He's a pervert. That guy's got more skeletons in his closet than anybody knows yet, and it goes beyond just what he's done politically.
Right.
The man is a depraved individual, and the truth will come out about it. It will. But I think he's definitely afraid of Cash Patel, because Cash Patel said outright that Shifty Schiff is one of the worst criminals that he knows of in politics, because he had his fingerprints all over all sorts of things that they put Donald Trump through. You want to talk about the orchestrator of some of the most evil things that they did to Donald Trump? Don't look at Pelosi. Look no further than Adam Schiff. That guy is a dirtbag.
Oh my God. There's a video that I didn't play that I'm not going to play of what Cash Patel was saying about him back, before he even was even considered for this position. Cash Patel was on top of that. Cash Patel was the one that exposed the ugliness behind the whole Russia collusion. He's the one that exposed it and really brought it all to light.
Yeah.
So, man, God is setting things in order, guys. Okay? He is setting things in order. Things are about to be exposed on a level that we have never seen, and they are going to fight back, people. They are going to fight back. This is what they want to do. This is what they want to do. Listen to this word that came forth on January 31st, 2015. Listen to this. This is what the Lord said through my mentor. The Spirit of God says, you have heard the sounds of the words of life. I have appointed time, this time and through the month of February, going through to the spring filled with unique surprises. This goes back to 2015, y'all. Listen to this. But there are going to be exposures. Leaders that have stood and lied will be exposed. However, I did see something, and I see it again. I see a cloud, but it was not a cloud that will bring destruction. Do you remember, Joseph? You and I and Denise, we were saying that we saw clouds in our house. Do you remember that? That was just, a week ago. Yeah. Listen to this. I saw a cloud that was descended. It was not the cloud of Islam. That has already descended. This is the cloud of God's presence. This is the cloud that came unto Mount Tabor. This is the cloud that came unto the Mount of Transfiguration, where there was a voice and there was a glorification of my son. Do you believe that I will allow the cloud of Islam to descend and not allow the cloud of my glory to descend? No, it is coming, says the Lord. It is coming. Rejoice, for it is coming. Do you see, guys? Look, we're not even talking about something that I saw today. And I'm not sure if this is indeed is legit. So we're trying to authenticate this. But what circulated a little bit on X again today was Barack Obama's birth certificate and the controversy behind it.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it yet, but remember that word that God gave me. That when Barack Obama, I heard in prayer, Obama. I heard his name 3 times. I don't have that word pulled up, but I'm not going to read that word right now. But I'm telling you guys, in that word, God said and showed me that there's going to be an exposure, and it's going to be so prevalent that Obama is going to say it within his heart, and he's going to release this. I am not going down by myself. If I'm going down, I'm going to bring the whole ship down.
Yeah.
That's what I heard, and I'm standing by it. I'm not reading it now, but if you can go back to some of my other broadcasts, you'll be able to find that word. But God is speaking, everybody. God is moving, and He is saying there are exposures that are happening. Cass Patel, RFK Jr., Christy Noem, Tulsi Gabbard, okay, Pam Bondi, these people that have been put in place, I believe, are strategic in what God is getting ready to do. Things are about to flip and shift, everybody.
Yeah. And we need to be very mindful of from now, actually it's all the way from January until Easter, because I think that coincides with that word about the pythos, because that's what God's doing right now is he's exposing divination. He's exposing the breath that is of the enemy. He's choking that dragon out, and that enemy is holding on for dear life, trying to take us with it. Um, I had an experience on Charlie. I mean, I won't share the dream necessarily because I don't know. I think the dream that I had and the experience I had after the dream were two separate were two separate items. I'm just realizing that I have these dreams from the Lord, and when I do, lots of times it's because there's angelic activity going on in my house, and the Spirit of the
Yeah.
Lord is heavy in the house. Well,
Come
I
on.
woke up out of this dream, and I know it was a dream from the Lord. I'm still trying to figure out what all the dream means, but I looked out from our bedroom and I saw again portals like I used to see back right after the 2020 election happened. For a period of time after the 2020 election happened, every night I will wake up and I would see these angelic portals. And the Lord told me, He said, I am releasing the angelic on this nation right now. I am releasing the angelic on this nation right now. And that's why you're seeing this. But every time I would see these portals, Charlie, I would try to get up and go to look at them because they were intriguing. Sometimes you could see things inside of them, like numbers and things, and I could always tell, like, there's, if I could get up and go look, I'm sure that I would be able to see something amazing. And every single time I would try to get up, the glory of the Lord would just hit, and I would be almost pushed back down in under a weightful glory. Well, the other night I had this dream, and I woke up and out of the dream, and I could see the portals, and I was like, and the Lord told me, get up and walk out into the hallway, because I could see it in the hallway. And I got up, and it didn't push me down, and I very quickly moved into the hallway. And as I did, I didn't see anything, but they started to slowly dissipate. And I stood there, and all I could feel was the peace of the Lord. And He said to me, He said, you have walked through it. You have walked through it. And I was like, Lord, what did I walk through? And He said, and His response was, it's okay for you to go back to bed now. And I was like, okay. So I went back to bed, and I was like, Lord, what is that? And He said, you've walked through it. Now get ready to see something miraculous start to happen. And I think that that's really what y'all got to understand, whether you see things or see angelic things or not, whether you hear from the Lord clearly, or you think you do or you don't. The truth of the matter is that you've all walked through something.
Right.
Charlie, you said this before. You said about prepare your heart, right? You said prepare your heart for what God is about to do. Well, the testing that has happened to you all and to us, the things that you've been through over the last 4 years, you can look at all of the negative things that have happened to you, and instead of looking at them as a negative, look at it as that God has fashioned you
Come on.
to be able to now hold the glory that Satan tried to keep from you. Do you understand that when you are under attack, what does it say, Charlie? What does the word say? It says that we suffer assault, but those who have suffered assault are allowed to take what is theirs by force.
Right. Kingdom. Yeah. Right.
And what that means is this: it means that you all have been tested, and you've come out flourishing. Right? That's the word that Kim got from God for us. I've tested you, and you've come out flourishing, says the Spirit of the Lord. So all of those things, can you just say that you've walked through it?
Yeah.
And this is what the Lord told me. And I'm telling you, the Lord is doing things with me. And I'm not trying to say that it makes me any type of extra special, but Charlie, we have a group of people that listen to us, right?
Right.
Every Thursday night. It actually tickled me a little bit and made me laugh when you said, "Hey, man, here in Florida, people are telling me that they love watching our show." And I'm
Yeah.
like,
It
"What?"
was. It was. Man, I had about 4 people. And to
Right.
me, that's a multitude because
Mm,
I didn't expect it. They
right.
said, "Oh, we look forward to Thursday night, man. We love listening to the Issachar Power Hour." I said,
That's great.
"Oh, really? You listen?" I said, "That is so cool."
That is cool.
So yeah, you're right.
So what I want to say is that to y'all, you've walked through this with us. You've walked through this with us. Those who
Hmm.
were part of the mantle of the prophetic words that came from Kim, you walked through those things. It wasn't something that was just for one individual. It's for all of us. And all we need to do is say we've been fashioned, we've been tested, and now, like you said, Charlie, prepare your hearts because your expansiveness, the size of your pot that the Lord is going to pour the oil into has
Hmm.
gotten bigger. So don't. And what I really liked about what you said, Charlie, is it made me think about the woman who said, "I don't have anything. I'm going to die. Me and my kids are going to die." And she goes to the prophet. She says to Elisha, "Listen, you know my husband was part of the company of the prophets, and he's gone, and now we got nothing." And she said, Elisha said, "Go tell your neighbors." First he started by not what don't you have. He said, "What do you have?" And she said, "Well,
Come
we
on.
got a little bit of oil. I was about ready to go inside, make some toast, and we were going to eat it, and then we're going to die. But
Right.
what do you want me to do?" "Well, I want you to go to your neighbors. I want you to get as many pots as you can because they're all empty too. They got a bunch of empty pots out there, ladies and gentlemen, because they all have nothing as well." And so she goes out, she tells her sons, "Go and get these pots, go and get these pots, go and get these pots." And then what they bring the pots back, and then she starts to pour the oil into all of these pots. Did you know that the oil didn't stop pouring until she ran out of pots? Let me ask you a question. Do you think if she would have had more pots, there would have been more oil? Because I think there would have been.
Oh yeah, I think
So,
so.
Charlie, what you're saying is prepare your heart and don't think small.
Yeah.
Get
Right.
as many pots as you can, because
Yeah.
the oil that's about to pour out will not stop for a long period of time.
That's
And we
good.
can't out receive and we can't outgive God. So
That's good.
the testing that we've been through is part of the size of that pot that God has put into our laps. So the bigger the test, the bigger the pot.
And it goes it's just like when Elisha said to the king,
Hmm.
strike the ground.
Hmm.
And the king only struck the ground 3 times.
Yeah.
And Elisha said, "Hey, why did you do that? No,
Right.
you should have struck the ground multiple times
Hmm.
because that would have been your amount of victory. Multiple victories.
Hmm.
So don't hold back, everyone. Expect God to pour out upon you, just like it says in Malachi 3. Those
Yeah.
of you that have been faithful in your giving, whether or not you've given finance or you've given time in prayer, you have served God in different capacities. God hasn't forgot it. And so he says he is going to pour out upon each and every one of us
Hmm.
a blessing that we won't have room to receive. So, you know what that means? We will take it, we will multiply it and share it and continue to expand it because multiplication is the principle of the kingdom. God is about going from glory to glory to glory. He
Hmm.
has never been stagnant, He's always moving forward. So, I like what
Always.
you're saying right there, man.
Yeah, and just even more so. I mean, think about what that woman did. The prophet said, "Now go sell what's left over to pay off your debt, and keep whatever you need to be able to get through this time of destruction and this time
Hmm.
of lack." It blessed other people. It all of a sudden, the prophetic word to this woman created economy for other people
Right,
because
right,
she sold that oil where there was no oil. They were in a time of drought. There was no oil. And I guarantee you that all of the people that she sold to were like, "Man, I'll give you twice as much for that oil because there is no oil. There's
right.
none." So she came out on top. It comes back to that multiplication you're talking about, Charlie.
Come on.
God is not an adder, he is a multiplier. He is not a subtractor, except for to take away things that are keeping us from multiplying. He does 1 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 8. 4 times he keeps multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. We're the ones that like we only like addition. We like Lord, just to add, and the Lord's all add. I want to multiply. Get past the addition and let's get into the multiplication of it. The multiplication that's about to fall on I can't express it. That's why, Charlie, when I come back to the death to debt, I'm not just saying I want to be like what the prophet said. Why did you hit the ground 2 times? I don't want to be like death to debt. I want to be like, I want to murder my debt.
Yeah. You yeah. You want to massacre it.
Serial killer style. Put a bunch of bars of soap and some socks and beat the holy tar out of the debt.
Right. I love that. So, hey, man, you said something about multiplication. You said 1 + 1, 2, 2 + 2 is 4. You said that. This is my next subject. Okay? This is my next subject. I'm going to play this. I want you guys to check this out. Let me just get rid of that because that's nothing. All right. Let me see. All right. So I want you guys to hear something because Glenn Beck, and I just shared it. If you see a link that I shared in the comments, you guys, after this broadcast, you get a chance, I want you to go check out this link. But first, I want you to hear this prophetic word because I believe that this word is about to manifest. Guys, we are living in prophetic times. Check this out.
A whole new system that's being raised up, says the Spirit. A whole brand new computer that has a speed greater than lightning. This computer and this whole technology shall reach the entire earth. Every being on the face of the earth shall be reached by this ludicrous, they call it ludicrous speed.
Wow. Ludicrous speed. Man, that drummer that was playing with us, that was Chris Coleman. That guy's a phenomenal drummer, man. But guys, ludicrous speed. I'm going to share this. I'm just going to play just a little bit of this. I want you to listen to what Glenn Beck just got a call from Microsoft yesterday. Listen to what he says here. It's kind of long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. That's the reason why I shared the link. I want you guys to check this out. Now, commercial might pop up, so bear with us.
Announced at Microsoft right after we left the air. I got a note from somebody that works at Microsoft. It says, we just announced this 2 minutes ago. You should see it. It was pretty amazing. It was a video that they released. It was about 20 minutes. Let me tell you what the CEO of Microsoft tweeted shortly thereafter. A couple of reflections on the quantum computing breakthrough we just announced. Listen to this sentence. Most of us grew up learning there are 3 main types of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. Today, that has all changed. After nearly a 20-year pursuit, we've created an entirely new state of matter, unlocked by a new class of materials, topoconductors.
Amazon Home Finds. This security camera produces one of the widest views I've ever seen, and it's a game changer.
Topological conductors are, if I can explain topological, and please, I am way out of my depth on this, so if you really want to know, I'm just trying to break it down into layman's terms as I understand it.
All right, so I don't understand this, but let me skip up just a little bit, and let's hear a little bit more of this past his explanation of what he's trying to say.
And they have a hole in the center. Now, the coffee cup doesn't have a hole at the bottom like the donut does, but it's the basic shape, okay? And you can, what a topological conductor is it can morph and move, but it could be a coffee cup or a donut, and it retains all of its same properties, even though you and I would go, that's not the same shape. Got it? Sorry for anybody who really understands this. That's the height of my understanding in 12 hours of topological states.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Now, what they've done is they have found this fundamental leap in computing. They have built a chip that they have now made into a topological conductor by using an element, a molecule that we didn't even know really existed up until a year ago. It was speculated that this molecule existed, I think back in the 20s or 30s, and that's what the chip is named after, the guy who has said, I think there's this molecule out there.
Let me go a little bit further. Hold on, guys.
Instead, at the same time that it took me just to say and answered at exactly the same.
Okay, so
one.
Look, it's kind of long, okay, because he gets, you know how Glenn Beck, he gets kind of wordy.
Yeah.
He gets kind of wordy. Okay, basically what he was saying, this computer that they come up with, that they are developing, is going to be so fast. It's going to be like he asked a person, or he asked the new Gronk, I think 3. That's Elon's AI, right?
Yep.
Okay. He asked him how fast this thing could get in, let's compare it to human age. Okay. I spoke to you 12 hours ago. How much will you grow in 12 hours according to human age? And the AI said, well, it has the potential to advance 10 to 15 years in 12 hours. That's how fast it can advance.
Yeah.
So they're talking about a computer that's going to be super, super fast. Now, okay, to those that say, oh man, this is the sign of the beast, this is the Antichrist, I want to show you a word. We used to say, I'm not afraid of the lion's den. I'm not afraid of the fire. I'm not afraid of the 666, and I'm not afraid of the beast. You see, that's why I've said, so we're going to go back to what I just said and what Joseph just said, illustrated again. Prepare our hearts. Be able to have vision. Be able to have insight and foresight. Don't look and don't operate according to hindsight. Don't operate according to what you gazed upon, okay, what you can see with your natural eye. We have to perceive. I want you to check out this one word that came forth, okay? This word that came forth. The video that I just played for you guys, that was back in April of, what was that year? I forgot the year, but anyway, this is what that little short video was edited, but this is what the prophet said on this night. A whole brand new computer that has a speed greater than lightning. People just said, no, this thing is evil. God says, it's my doing. This computer and this whole technology shall reach the entire earth. Every being on the face of the earth shall be reached by this ludicrous, they called it ludicrous speed. And it shall be possible for men and women in India, third world countries, to hear the gospel in seconds. Out of New York and Seattle, Washington, this shall happen. Now, the reason why I am talking about this, because I'm not saying that this discovery that Glenn Beck was talking about is this computer. I'm presenting this word because, guys, we are on the cusp of these words beginning to manifest. Could this be the computer or the very element that will make or help this computer to become the fulfillment of this glorious prophetic word? Because what I love about this, he said that this will come out of New York and Seattle. Well, where's Microsoft? What's the home office of Microsoft?
Yeah. I was just looking it up to make sure it's It's Seattle, Washington.
It's Seattle, Washington. Right. So the Lord said, out of New York and Seattle, Washington, this shall happen. I said this to you because I am going to give you and have given you young men and women that are so sharp, you will be one of the first to have this technology. What is that? Is that little Jeremiah?
Yeah, he wandered down here. Come here, buddy. Do you want to say hi? Look, you want to say hi? He must have escaped. Come here. Come say hi. Here, say hello.
Hello.
Hey, little Jeremiah. What's happening?
We're talking about Jesus. Do you love Jesus?
Yeah.
You do? All right. You'll wander around, but I'll mute. Go ahead on, Charlie.
Yeah. Okay. So I said this to you because I am going to give you and have given you young men and women that are so sharp, you will be one of the first to have this technology. You shall use it and change it to a multi-billion-dollar concern. Why? God said that you will be able to fund, you will be able to give out. And as in the days of Moses, you were said to the people, stop giving, we have too much. It is all lining up with the transfer of wealth, everyone. I'm telling you guys, Joseph had to, had to skip out a little bit, but I wanted to end with that because I'm telling you guys, we are, man, the prophetic promises of God is truly, truly manifesting in our midst. Guys, we have to continue to pray. We have to continue to trust God and to be steadfast in seeking him daily. If it's reading his word, if it's just being quiet before him, like today, I'm freezing in my house because our downstairs unit broke. And so we have to go upstairs to get heat. I got a little space heater in here and it does what it can do, but it's not that well. But I got in here today and I began to worship and just playing my bass guitar because it's so cold out here. Man, we're in the teens here in Texas, and that's just something that don't happen much.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, we have to continue to press in prayer. But Joseph, man, what do you think about that?
Well, it's pretty amazing. I think technology in general, I think the way that it's moving, and I know that there's a lot of fear of AI, there's a lot of fear of some of these technologies, and really technology is what we make of it. Is it going to be used for evil someday? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen. Satan's going to try to steal what God makes for good. That's what he always does. Let's put it this way. People didn't know what a fork was, and then we created forks, and then some jackass stabbed somebody with a fork. It's gonna happen. That there's no way around it. But for me, like I use AI Copilot at work, and I'm going to tell you, it's actually made my job because I make it do what I want it to do. I don't let it do what it can do. I was like, hey, Copilot, take all the aspects of that meeting and put it in a task format for me, and then give me an SBAR format, which is basically subject, what's the problem, what's the resolution, and it puts it all in a spot to where I'm like, because it's listening to me talk in the meeting, like, oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're telling me we got this problem and I need to do this and I got to fix this, and then I just tell it to spit it back to me like it's my personal assistant. It saves me, I kid you not, Charlie, it saves me probably about 2 to 3 hours a day, where I used to have to write all those things down as we were going, and then I would miss what's happening in the conversation. Now, could I let it rule me and say, get lazy and do my thing and say, oh, I'm just going to let it do my thing? Yeah, that would be evil of me. That would be wrong of me. Right? It's all about what I make it do and what I tell it to do. Now, these computers, if we tell them to do what the Lord's work, hey, I'm going to preach the gospel and I'm going to get this word out to India and I'm going to get this word out to here, and I'm going to use this technology to do it in minutes so that they can, like, for instance, streaming. 10 years ago, we couldn't do this, Charlie. Not by ourselves.
No.
Do you know that actually, even what you guys did at the Den, you guys had to spend a lot more money to do what you did at the Den than what we have to do right now. We can actually make this work a lot easier than what you used to be able to do even back then. Look at how much things have progressed from then to now. Now, are we going to say that that's evil, or are we going to say that God can use that for good? Because I didn't used to be able to stream this way. I
Right.
used to only be able to watch some people stream this way, and I used to love watching the Den every Saturday. I would watch, but now we can do this from our homes where we're reaching and we're saying, and people are saying, "Man, I'm being blessed by Thursday nights." We couldn't do this 10 years ago, Charlie.
Right.
We couldn't do this 15 years ago. Are we going to say that this is evil? Now, are people using this for evil? You know that they are. You know that they are.
Right.
So I think that this jump in technology, Daniel saw it. He said that there would be in the end times that there would be an increase in knowledge, that it would happen quickly. It's a prophetic utterance that is a truth that we can either stay. Now it doesn't mean I'm going to go get a chip put in my head or some stupid stuff like that.
No.
Right? But it means that, hey, God is if we discovered an element, guess what? That's God's element.
Right.
There is nothing in this universe that man makes that isn't already there. The Bose-Higgs element, if you're talking about the God particles, the so-called God particle, which I think they're actually talking a little bit about this, is they're harnessing these elements that we just didn't know that we had access to. Now, let me ask you this though, Charlie. Do you think that it's possible too, though, that from a biblical perspective, our faith, our belief, the things that God can do, we don't really tap into all the things that God can do because of the disbelief that we have even about things that we can't see, can't know, and can't understand. I feel like God's getting ready to rip off the lid to what reality truly is for God's children and how much our prayers and how much our faith move the scale.
Yeah.
And this is just more proof of that to me.
So true, man. I mean, that kind of lines up with what I see. A few comments here. I'm on. I think is it Buffy Smith. I don't know if she's still on. I don't know if it's male or female. It sounds like Buffy sounds like a female to me. But she said, "Why is it when you give your 10% that you don't get blessed?"
I'm glad you brought that up because I got some thoughts on that too, but I'll let you say something first because I did see that comment and I have some very specific things about that. But go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if this. I hope this doesn't sound harsh, and it's not. It's just that the Bible says, "Give with a cheerful heart," and when you give, you give from your heart, and not to say that you're not giving from your heart, but I know that when I give, I don't give expecting a return in the same way that I gave. I used to. A real short testimony. My wife and I, we've given away 4 automobiles. God has just told us now that's a big gift to give the people. We've given away 4 automobiles. When we got ready to, instead of trading the car in, we paid for it. Instead of, man, we're going to trade this car in, and then, and we know that the dealership ain't going to give you jack for it, So we said, no, we're gonna pray. We're gonna ask God who to give these vehicles to, and that's what we've done 4 times. We've given away 4 vehicles because we got much more in return. We didn't get other vehicles. But when God told us to give above and beyond, we didn't get back money. But what we got back was our son, because the devil came at a very pivotal time.
That's right.
To kill our middle son.
That's right.
And that's when God revealed to me, if I went into the whole story, into the whole testimony, it'll take too long. But to make a long story short, he gave back to us that which we couldn't attain or get for ourselves or by our own might.
Right.
Because our son was laying on a table in the emergency room, OD'd on drugs, and the doctor said it's nothing we can do. But he's alive today.
Amen. Yep.
That's what we got. So, I don't know. That to me is more precious than money, gold.
Silver.
Yeah, than silver. Yeah. My son is still here.
Yeah, and actually it's right along line of what you just said, Charlie. Is right along line what I was going to say, because I actually, Buffy, I saw your comment earlier, and I was like, man, you know what? For me, that is exactly what happened with Rebecca and what you guys saw, little Jeremiah. So I thought it was very
That
prophetic that
is,
you
yeah.
ran down here.
That's
Because
very prophetic that he
yeah,
ran down there.
it is, because when we went to the den and we actually met you in person, we met Kim in person, and we were looking for the bucket. And if you go back and read the word that, or see the word that God gave, I was trying to find the bucket to put more money in, because Rebecca's like, give more money. And we had already given online the lazy way. I like giving the lazy way. I know Kim was like, man, you lazy bums that give text to give. And I like, because I think he liked when people would just take the time to write out the check and send it in. He's old school that way, I guess. But I was looking for the bucket, and I put in the bucket, and that's when the word of the Lord came forth. He said, I saw you look for the bucket, and he said, you've been like that for a long time. I've tested you. I can almost repeat the whole word like out of memory right now. I've tested you, and you've come out flourishing, says the Spirit of the Lord, because I've taken away barrenness now, and I've given to you a fruitfulness that you will take everywhere you go, because you are that type of person. And because of that, I will give to you land, and I will give to you this, and I will give you this. Well, the barrenness that he took away, we had no idea that we were going to have another child, right? I mean, and then later on, we still didn't know. God, and I tell you, backstage when we met Kim, he asked, he said, "How many do you have kids?" And we're like, "We have kids," and he kind of smiled, like, "I know something you don't know." And I should have known at that time that God was telling him we were going to have another child, but it was kind of I know something you don't know, and it was a very specific smile. But when we went through what we went through with COVID, right? God took that word that God gave from a gift that was years in the past, and he cashed it in at the right time, right place, and the right season for the right reason. And it was saving my wife and our child from COVID being on a ventilator. That is what our 10% brought, was a protection later on.
Right.
And just like what you said, Charlie, it's amazing that your word was exactly the same word that my word was. It was like, and it was a protection, and it was a fruitfulness, and it was that word. And when we took that word and we printed it out, and we spoke it, and then we prayed, and we did so many things. We stood upon what God gave because we gave. So Buffy, long story short, saying you don't know what God's going to give, you don't know when he's going to give it. But there ain't no way that 10% that you gave is going to come back nothing.
Right.
Just wait and see what it is. I bet you it's going to be something super special.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. So I believe that's blessing a lot of people too. You know, I mean, it's blessing a lot of people. Man, we are so blessed that you guys tuned in tonight. We had a good audience. We got a good audience on X. We got a good audience on Rumble. Man, we are so blessed. We got a few on Facebook and YouTube. Wow, we are so blessed, guys. We want you guys to share this. We try to keep this at an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, and we've gone almost an hour and 10 minutes, but we had to address that. And Buffy, I see your comments now. It's it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and thanks for saying that. I mean, don't let condemnation sit in because you asked a question like that, because that's a legit question. It's very legit.
We've all asked it.
We've all asked it.
Yeah.
You know, I've asked it many times. And when God showed up past the point of what I could do, I was like, wow, okay, God, okay, without a doubt, we have to trust you. Without a doubt, we have to trust you. So anyway, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to go out by sharing this. Doors are opening up for me to minister. I'm going to be ministering with Glory in America again, man. We're going to be in St. Louis. We're going to be in St. Louis, man. I'm going to go by and see Michael McDonald. See, he's going, minute by minute, I'll be holding. Anyway. Yeah, he's from St. Louis, man. I love the musicians there, man. But we're going to be in St. Louis April 4th and 5th, guys. There's the QR code. You can register. And, man, it's going to be powerful. You're going to be in the area.
Dawn heard you're going to be in Missouri, and she's saying what? So, yeah, you better stop by and see Dawn.
Dawn, that is right there. That is. We're going to be there April 4th and 5th. They're in Missouri, in your backyard, girlfriend, in your backyard. And it's going to be, of course, Dr. Brett Marianne Watson, Manuel Johnson, Dr. Manuel Johnson, yours truly, C.J. Charles of the Rich Jordan, and my boy, Ren Shuffman, Dr. Ren Shuffman, and man, Jeremiah Davis, man, that man is prophetic. That man is prophetic. Guys, if you're in that area, get there. Get there. And we just secured on May 2nd and 3rd, I'm going to be in the ATL with Glory in America. And Amanda Grace is going to join us there. I don't have the poster for that yet, but that's coming up in May. So God is moving, everybody. God is moving. And so anyway, hey, we've gone long enough. We want you guys to know. Joseph, you got anything else on your heart?
I think I said it all tonight.
Yeah. Wow, man, this has been great. So we want you guys to share this. Want you to know that you're somewhere in the future and you look so much better than you look right now. I mean, JESUS is in full effect, guys. We put that devil in check. I'm going to go out with my song that I wrote with my cousins. It's called Turn It Over.
I love the song.
And you know, I'm going to play the whole song. And if you want to listen to it, the rest of it, you want to listen, just check it out. You will love it. You can get this on every streaming outlet out there. All you got, if you're with Apple Music, you with Amazon Prime, if you're with Spotify, all of it, it's out there, okay? All you got to do is just type in Charlie C.J. Jordan, Tomorrow, My Legacy, boom. The CD will come up and you'll be able to hear this song. But you have to click on the special edition one and you'll hear this mix. We love you guys. Remember, no matter how bad it gets, all you got to do is turn it over. We love you guys. Peace.
Like I know there's nothing too hard for him. He made the blind man see. He shed his blood for you and me. If you believe, oh yeah, you shall receive all the powers that be. And there's something that you should do in your spirit. You gotta make a change. Walk right, talk right, play right. Rearrange your life. For he is the only way. Oh yeah, a brighter day. Can I get a witness? Glory's on the floor. Turn it over. Turn it over. Don't wait till tomorrow. Do it today. Turn it over. No more pain and suffering in your life. Whatever it is, there's no problem that he cannot fix. Turn it over. So down and low. Turn it over. Wherever you got to go. He turns it over to set you free. Whatever the situation, there's no problem that he cannot fix. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Whatever